Hello, this is Angela with Parker's Permaculture. It's kind of a typical December day here in Portland, Oregon in Zone 8B. Gray, rainy, muddy. We're thawing out from our recent kind of unexpected snowfall. And it's not that great of a day to be doing yard work, but I was out here digging up something and it spurred me to want to talk a little bit more about the gift economy and explain what I'm doing out here and why the gift economy is so important for resilience. Now, I did a video, a number of months back where I talked about the gift economy, and how it's a great way that we can help create those community connections and support each other out of our abundance. So you have something that you don't need, consider the third permaculture ethic, share the surplus. And the gift economy helps take money out of the equation. We can either just gift things that we no longer need and bless other people, or we can consider something like bartering. There's lots of formal resources you can use, organizations like Buy Nothing, organizations like your local free cycle group that you can access, but there's also a much more informal way you can promote and utilize the gift economy. So I had posted a little while back in some of my local fiber arts groups. I'm looking to get my eldest kid an inkle loom for Christmas. I've wanted to get her one for a couple of years. I actually had the idea of making one. I'm fairly good with pretty simple woodworking. I've made a lot of fiber arts tools over the years. Fairly good at woodworking. The problem is I just don't have the time. I'm so busy taking care of my dad, and also he would have been the person I would have done this project with, and he's now no longer able to do it, and it's just kind of sucked all of the joy out of wanting to create a loom. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to post in my local fiber arts groups and ask people, do you have an old inkle loom sitting around that you don't use? Could I buy it from you? And lo and behold, in one of those groups, a lovely, lovely friend of mine said, you know what, I've got one and I'm not using it and you can have it. She said, it's like sitting in a shed and I haven't used it in years. And if your daughter could make use of it, I would love to give it to her. What a kindness, what a generous thing to do. She didn't ask for any money. She just said, you know what, I want to bless your family with this. And then in a completely separate interaction, I think on a video I did about my damson plum tree, she had mentioned like, oh, my husband's from England. I would love to have a damson plum tree. Could I have a sucker off of your damson? And I was like, absolutely. So lo and behold, these things have converged. She generously wants to give out of her abundance. And I'm like, you know what? I have these suckers in my garden. Damson plums grow on their own rootstock. They're not grafted. And so when you get a sucker with a good root ball on it, you can start a whole new tree very easily. And then she had also inquired about, I wonder, what do those medlars taste like that you're growing in your garden? I do have a video coming up on that. They are currently bledding on the kitchen counter. They're not ready to eat yet. And I thought, okay, today she's coming to drop off that inkle loom. She doesn't live in Portland. She lives way outside Portland. And this is a great opportunity. Like, she can drop off the inkle loom. I can give her this plum tree and a bag of medlars. It's a wonderful opportunity that wasn't birthed out of any kind of transactional relationship. We just wanted to bless each other, and it just happened to overlap. And I really think when we focus on the gift economy and we focus on looking at material objects that we have, or even skills that we have, and say, what do I have in overabundance, and how can I use it to benefit the people around me? Now, I'm not a fan of like put it out to the universe and manifest it, but I am a fan of intentionally asking when you have a need. Had I not posted in that group and said, I have a need, I'm looking for this thing used, none of this interaction would have happened. Or had she not seen that video and said, you know what, could I have a sucker? It wouldn't have happened. There's nothing wrong with asking. That is an intrinsic part of the gift economy, communicating your needs as well as the things you have to offer. Both of those are equally important. Sometimes we aren't aware that people even have a need until they speak up. Sometimes I may not realize that thing I have sitting in my garden shed or in my basement that I don't know what to do with. I now have an opportunity when somebody speaks up and says, hey, do you have a spare one of these hanging around? Oh, suddenly I have a way to gift this to somebody else. I now know that there's an avenue for passing that thing along to somebody who can use and enjoy it. And I don't want things moldering or rusting or getting unused and just, accumulating dust in some corner of my house. If I can't use it, I want the opportunity to pass it along to somebody else. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in checking out more about the gift economy, please look at my older video on this subject, but also have no shame about communicating your needs, about the things that you are hoping to find and look for. It's totally fine to say, I can't afford this thing, but I'm looking for it. Is there the potential for swapping, for bartering, for somebody to have the opportunity to pass it along when they no longer need it? For me, I get a lot of joy out of knowing something that I can't use has a whole new life and is benefiting somebody else. So let me show you this tree really quickly and the medlars, and then after Hendy drops off the loom, I will show you what an inkle loom is, because it's really cool. And I'll be back. Okay, we're right out my back door here. I've dug up this damson plum sucker. And when I say a sucker, this is what I'm talking about. Probably about 6 feet from the parent tree. It puts out these lateral roots that then will send up shoots and form a whole new tree. You can see it's got a lot of good roots on it. I'm going to bag it up with damp paper towels for her. And this should be able to start a whole new tree for her really nicely. I would encourage her to cut back all of this extra growth so it's not taxing the small root system. Give it time over the winter to focus on putting out even more of these roots and getting big and strong. And she'll have a lovely tree that will produce delicious plums that make the world's best jam here in a few years. This inkle loom is a tabletop loom that allows the weaver to make a warp-faced weave of a narrow width, such as a sash, trim, or belts. They're a really useful and portable loom to do a very ancient kind of weaving. In fact, the word inkle, I-N-K-L-E, means ribbon or tape. Here you can see Hendy threw in not only some yarn, but also a book of instructional techniques and weaving patterns for this loom. Despite being an experienced weaver on my jack floor loom upstairs, I've never used an inkle loom, and Ruth will have to teach herself how to make beautiful tape, ribbon, and belt weavings on this loom. Here you can see the ancient and unique medlar fruit that I picked for my friend as well. If you're interested in learning more about the gift economy, I will have some resources down in the description. Hope you all are staying well and safe, and thank you for watching today.